You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I am Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about creating wins in life. Okay, we all know that there's going to be those unknown, those curveballs, those times that we're stressed. But we have the ability to actually create wins for ourselves. Sometimes they're just little baby steps. If you get to the gym, that's a win, right? If you do good on a test or a presentation, that's a win. If you hang in there and you stay the course and you're on all those dating sites and you eventually find the love of your life, that's a win, right? So wins can be in so many different forms. It's also a win to be able to look back at your past and have grown to kind of get those life lessons. That's a win. And oftentimes that's what we're talking about here on the show. In fact, stay with us because in our next segment, we'll be joined by our inspirational guest for the day, Diana Mosier, who's going to talk about, although she was sexually abused by her stepfather, she had a lot of wins in it, developing her into the person that she is today, and even a successful realtor. She's doing great things. And we want to make sure that you get your wins in life or help you to identify those. So please call in to 800-333-0001. I'll be standing by taking your calls. And we want to make sure that beyond today's show that you are supported. So feel free to go to our 24-hour station, and you can hear Living Full Out anytime you want. You can access that from our website. Just go to livingfullout.com. Also, all of our episodes are breaking down there for you, so you can actually listen to whichever one you want based upon a theme that resonates with what you're going through in your life. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I actually have a question for you.
Yes, Natalie, what's going on?
So my question is, how do I manage stress in a healthy way when it has now become a part of my environment, which my environment's supposed to be a place where I feel safe? I want to learn how to cope with stress when it's in my everyday life, meaning the stress is kind of in my everyday life at home, and so I'm just wondering how I can cope with that.
Now, the stress at home, if I can ask, is it more of a person or is it the space itself?
It's more of a person.
More of a person. And are you able to, at this time, change your environment or somehow find a way for that person to exit that environment?
No, not at this time.
Not this time. Okay. So what is it most about that person that makes the environment so toxic, so stressful? Is it that they're combative? Is it just they're kind of lazy, complacent? What is it?
It's more that they're combative, and also they are unable to take responsibility for things that they've done.
Okay.
That cause conflict within the house.
Right. So the thing is, two thoughts I have for you. Number one is somebody who is argumentative or combative, you really need to speak the language that they're going to get. So if they are somebody who maybe digests information better by reading, maybe an email, a letter, a note, that hits home more to them, then that's the delivery method you want to go. If there's someone who's more auditorial and they're going to kind of get your words better by a phone call or an in-person sit down, then that's the way you want to go. When we are dealing with somebody who is argumentative, if we pick the wrong delivery method, it's going to sound like noise to them. They're not going to get it. They're not going to hear it. They're not going to want to hear it. And so you want to figure out what is that delivery method for them. And maybe even just a recording. With cell phones these days, you can actually record a message and not have it ring to the person. You can look into that.
Yeah.
The other thought I have for you is, in your mind, you have to find a way to have an internal smile. meaning that
Mm-hmm.
I feel really bad for combative people, argumentative people, right? Because there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
stirred up in them. They cannot look at themselves in the mirror and be like, I am so proud of who I've become. I have so many friends who love me, right? Because a lot of times they're picking on those people. So you want to keep inside yourself a smile, meaning you will not live in that environment forever. Meaning when they're spewing information that is just gibber and doesn't make any sense, and even everybody in the room knows it doesn't make sense, it's not an external smile, but it's internal smile, because you have to know that you will get to a different place. You're just going to kind of have to muscle through it for this period of time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Just don't let just don't let them take away that internal smile, because when the internal smile goes away, that's when we become hopeless. That's when we're giving our power away. But an internal smile means you're ridiculous when you're looking at them, right? I'm out of here I'm out of here in a year. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Can you do that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can do that.
Okay. Try those two things. But the only bad news of the whole scenario is you're not going to change them. You can't change them, right? You got to find a way to work with them. That's that delivery method I was talking about, or a way to have that internal smile to protect yourself, to keep your confidence up. But if you do that, I'm sure, you'll be able to get through this time. Okay? Thank you for calling in, though.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try those things.
Perfect. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah.
Love that she called about that, right? Because we've all had those people. You just roll your eyes and you're like, come on. Everybody else gets it. Why don't you get it? But you know what? Sometimes people don't get it. And it's not because they're bad people. They just have their own stuff going on. Or maybe they didn't grow up with the right social skills. Or maybe they weren't taught better behaviors and ways to manage conflicts. So, I actually feel really bad for those people. And we want to love them through that hard time. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do another caller on the line. We'll say hello to them. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hello. I have a question for you. How do I balance out school and life in general?
That's a good question, right? Because it can get pretty hectic. What do you find is the bigger burden? School, work, demands of social life?
I find it difficult, like my time management, like getting everything done on time, or like getting my schedule with the things that I have to do on time, and everything's like hectic, and I get stressed out of it.
You know what? I'm going to raise my hand, and I'm sure other people are too, because we've all been there. And everybody's got to find their own way. I'm a planner. Everybody in my life knows I'm a planner. But I do that to help ensure that I don't get overstressed. It's the unknowns that stress me out, right? Because I can't help those. But what I end up doing is at the beginning of every week, I put together my schedule. Like, what does that week look like? Maybe what does the next 2 weeks look like? And those are just the concrete things I know are going to happen. And I always over budget time. Like be careful to budget 10 minutes or just a half an hour. I feel like everything takes an hour, right? Over budget. Then every day, so the night before the day starts, I put together my to-do list and I prioritize them. And sometimes that might be having to look at your school assignments, looking at your work deadlines, and every night, write them down. That's going to help you sleep better too, because you're now getting them out of your mind on paper, prioritize them. And then when you wake up in the morning, they're still there, but now you've kind of put a time frame to them. You've listed them. Even if you don't get them all done, at least you've acknowledged that they need to get done. And most of all, I believe in sleep, and I believe in eating the right things. And I also believe that it's important to shake up your energy. And what I mean by shake up your energy is if you're kind of in a sluggish point in the day where you feel just tired, then I want you to jump in the shower and get yourself, ramped up, okay? Or if you're out and about and you feel as though your blood sugar level is slowing down, it's going down and you're losing energy, then I want to make sure that you eat something, okay? Those are really important as you manage stress and navigate your day. But thank you so much for calling in. I hope those tips were helpful for you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. And for everybody listening today, we're talking about creating wins, right? That might be wins in knocking things off that to-do list, right? That might be wins in managing a conflict. Whatever that is, I want you to think about in your life, what are you trying to achieve? Let's talk about that and get through it together. Stay with us. In our next segment, we're going to be having Diana Mosier talking about creating the wins that she had in her life, even to overcome molestation by her stepfather. It's a very inspirational story. Stay with us. I'm Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we'll be right back.
Hi, professional skateboarder Tony Hawk here with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you'll have the energy to skate through anything.
Nice play on words, Doc.
That's how I roll, Bugs. So whether you like to work the half pipe,
now that's catching air,
kick the soccer ball around, or dance in your room,
just move it your way.
For an hour a day.
The way you like to move, as long as you're moving.
Carve out some time every day and get active. Because it's time to do a 180 on what you think exercise is.
Because it can be whatever you want it to be. So be a player.
Be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At www.letsmove.gov. Let's hear that one more time, Doc. That's www.letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
I'm Nancy Solari, certified life and business coach. I want to invite you to the Personal Development Bootcamp. During the bootcamp, we're going to be looking at taking those insecurities that you have and getting rid of them. We're also going to look at ways in which you can thrive and live a life full of purpose. Go to livingfullout.com/bootcamp, livingfullout.com/bootcamp to sign up. I believe in you, and here's to you living your life full out.
I'm Sarah, and this is my story.
I'm Ellen, and this is my story.
One night, I was at a bar. I was having fun with my friends.
I
had one too many drinks.
I
got behind the wheel to go home.
I got a cab to go home.
All of a sudden, from out of nowhere, a squirrel ran across the road.
And all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, a squirrel ran across the road.
It happened so quickly, I barely had time to react.
It happened so quickly, the cabbie barely had time to react.
I swerved.
The cab swerved.
I can't believe it. I hit a guy.
I cannot believe it. The cabbie just missed a guy.
I wish I took a cab.
Thank goodness I took a cab.
You have the choice to save a life. Don't drive buzzed. It's a decision you'll never regret. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got more food than we know what to do with in this country, yet 17 million kids in America are struggling with hunger. Makes no sense. Luckily, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks has volunteers gathering excess food and getting it to hungry kids. They're kind of like food angels. Hey, become a food angel yourself by supporting Feeding America in your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
If you think depression is all in a person's head, you're right. It's a brain illness. And like other illnesses, it has symptoms. Depression can make those who suffer from it feel hopeless. It can even lead to suicide. Learn how to stop depression from taking another life. Call SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, 1-888-511-SAVE, on the web at save.org.
I'm Alec Baldwin. Like any parent, I'm concerned about children's health. Many kids don't eat as they should and are at risk for long-term health problems like diabetes and heart disease. But here's good news. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and other low-fat vegetarian foods can protect our kids and keep the rest of the family healthy too. For a free booklet, call the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at 1-877-685-KIDS or visit www.kidsgethealthy.org.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about creating wins in life. And the thing about a win is a win can actually be something that we do naturally, but it protects us, it guides us, even during times that are really hard in our life. That's a win, having that survivor spirit. A win can be looking back at your life and making sense of those tricky times, the times that we were abused or taken advantage of. Believe it or not, life is the game, right? It's the game of life. And you want to wake up every day, play it full out as much as you can. But of course, there's those moments in life that we just can't make sense of, like, why me? Well, we try to bring you inspirational guests that do go through really hard moments in their life, but yet they come out the other side and they're able to express to us how they got through it. Again, how they survived, and we learn from them. So while today's topic is one that is very sensitive in nature, it's an important story that we want to make sure that we get out there so others in our audience who are going through it can know that support is there and that it is possible, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So our inspirational guest today, Diana Mosier, actually did grow up from age 5 to 15 being abused physically, sexually, and I'm so proud of her courage to be able to talk about that today. And believe it or not, within that story, there are wins. And so I'd like to invite Diana to the show.
Hello. How are you?
I am good, Miss Energy.
I'm excited to be here.
You know what, Diana? You are like, if Mountain Dew was a personality, it would be Diana. Okay? I mean, you are thunder and lightning and everything. You're just awesome. I love it. So now today's topic, obviously, you lived it. You know, we're kind of here listening, but it's a tricky one. But I want to take our audience kind of back a bit because, you know, you had grown up with, your mother, but then she ended up marrying a man, and then they ended up having a daughter. So the environment of your home was your mom, your stepfather, your younger sister, 3 years younger, and you. But what is so sad, actually, was that your father, right, your stepfather, he was a fireman, and so many people in public service, there's so much stress, and he handled his stress in a very toxic way, which overflowed to abusing you. Can you share with us about that?
Yes, actually. And, you know, I need to always say that my dad was two people. And on the firefighter side, he was brilliant. And he was, probably one of the best paramedics that they had in the city of Torrance at the time. And I can really, really, truly speak to that because I know he helped many of my friends, many of their families. And I've had a tremendous amount of respect for what he did there. Unfortunately, because he had seen so much and never got help for that, he turned to alcohol. And he drank so much. And what that ended up creating was a monster for myself and our family. So I'm not quite sure, exactly, where you want me to start. I mean, I certainly can go with my very first win. I was 5 years old. How's that sound? I can start there.
You actually had a lot of wins in life, but thank you for sharing us that your dad had these two different sides to him. And you were, even though you had a mother, you were the mother role within your family. In fact, you might have even been considered almost like a wife to him in some way. And he would oftentimes come and only if you were sleeping would he come to you and abuse you, right? But if you were awake, he would not. And so you kind of caught on to that. So this is where Diana's wins start to occur, because she started to kind of catch on to his behaviors. But once you started to know his nightly behavior, tell us about how you set up your room to protect yourself.
Okay. I'm super proud of this, actually. So I was about 7 or 8 years old, and the way my room is, and I'm going to try and have everybody use their imagination here, but I had two doors to my room. I had the door that opened inward, and inside the room there was a small little, like a coat closet type of door. And so as I would open this door, I set the stage up. When I knew he was out drinking, I knew that he was coming for me. So I would have my first door ajar a little bit. So when he opened that door, he would hit the other door that I had opened ajar a little bit, and that would make a noise. If that didn't do it, and that didn't stop him from coming into my room, I had the second door hit a sparkless water bottle. I don't know if everybody remembers, but the glass sparkless water bottles were really heavy. But so it was a sturdy thing. And I always remember, gosh, it's going to make a noise if it hits that, but not enough to break it. And then if he tripped on that, I had 2 stuffed animals. My grandparents were amazing to me, and they always got for me and my sister, they got us stuffed animals, the circus kind, if you can imagine. And they were big. I had and I had a giraffe, and I also had a lion. So after the sparkless water bottle, I would set the lion and then the giraffe right towards my bed. So what would happen is he would hit this door and the sparkless water bottle, trip over the lion, and then hit the giraffe. By this time, all this noise and commotion is being made. I have permission to sit up and wake up and say, "Hey, what's up, Dad?" When I did that, he knew I was awake. And I don't know if it snapped him out of it for a second for whatever his plan was in that moment, but it stopped that forward behavior of the next step, which was to go towards the abuse.
And you know what? What is so amazing is this is a 5-year-old girl putting together this plan. I mean, that is very creative, not just for a 5-year-old girl, but really anybody who's being abused. Even if you're a 40-year-old woman, if you are afraid that somebody's going to come into your room, or you've ever been assaulted and you're worried and fearful that someone might break in, put together an obstacle course, right? I think it was genius. Purely genius. Now, beyond your smart wit and genius efforts, though, the abuse did go on. And because you were the protector of your mom and your sister, you really took the brunt of that. You wanted to protect them. So stay with us, Diana. When we come back, we're going to kind of continue on with your story, because obviously this abuse went from age 5 to 15, but she has a lot more winning moments in there. So stay tuned, everybody. Again, this is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about creating winning moments in life. So think about where in your life you're winning, or where you could see yourself having great success in the future. It is never too late. It is a large part of what it means to live full out, is to celebrate those wins. So let's do it together. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show. I am excited to let you know that we are now associated with Alexa. If you have Alexa in your house and you didn't know that, go ahead and find Living Full Out because you can hear us anytime you want, and we're there for you to keep you motivated. Go to your app store because we're located there as well. Just look for the Living Full Out radio show. It's important to us that we put out really inspiring programming, but we want to make sure that you have it at your fingertips when you need us most. We never know when those challenges are going to come, when we're going to feel lonely and need that motivation. So just know that when you need us, we're here for you. Check out Alexa, the app stores, or go to livingfullout.com. Here's to you living full out.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello, I'm Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and today we're talking about creating winning moments in life. And sometimes it's the obvious winning moments, right? If you're celebrating a successful presentation that you did. But sometimes it is the very subtle winning moments, the times we survive, the times that we've done something, we've kind of cracked the code or done something kind of clever. And our inspirational guest today, Diana Mosier, she did have a lot of wins in handling, managing, surviving, dealing with sexual, physical abuse at the hands of her stepfather from age 5 to 15. So I'd like to welcome Diana back to the show.
Hi.
Hi. You know, it's interesting because that is such a large amount of time, 5 to 15. I mean, you're growing up and you're trying to figure out your own body. You're trying to figure out, you know, is this what all men want? And I imagine there was just a lot of confusion. And I know that at age 12, you know, you did start drinking to cope with that stress. And I know that eventually because you're so, bubbly and personable, you did eventually have boyfriends, and your stepfather would get jealous. And then there's this whole dynamic between the fact that maybe your mom was jealous because he gave you more attention. And how did you manage all of that chaos and try to grow up with a level-headed shoulders?
Wow, that's very, very interesting.
Thank you.
I love that you put it that way. Honestly, there was so much. I think I was just kind of, especially when I had boyfriends, and I had boyfriends probably from the time I was 14, probably 14 years old, 15 years old. They got a little more serious. When I was drinking at 12, I think part of the way I was coping with everything was really with, I guess I want to say, humor and sarcasm. One of the things I remember, one of the stories I remember actually pretty clearly was me being in seventh grade, and I was 12 years old. I would go to my math class, and this was part of that drinking phase that I went through at 12. And it's really sad when I think about a 12-year-old who, I guess, has the ingenuity, I want to say. I would get a mayonnaise jar, put some vodka in it, and I would go to school, and I would drink there. But I would put a ponytail on my head that looked like a unicorn, and I would walk into my algebra class. The reason why I actually describe it as a unicorn, because obviously it looked like a horn, like a unicorn, and I would just be kind of the life of the show, kind of, I guess, in my math class, and just try and be funny.
Well,
at that time, the teachers...
I would imagine you wanted an escape from the reality of the home life that you were living. And the thing that I think is so interesting, we're talking today about winning moments, right? And even if we fast forward to later in your teenage years, your dad was abusing your entire family physically. But there was a time when your sister fought back. He was actually called out on the abuse he had done to her, and he had to go to anger management classes. Now, too bad he didn't go to those when you were 5, right? It could have been a whole different life. But the thing is he did end up apologizing to you. But with all that time, 5 to 15, all that abuse, do you accept that apology?
I actually did accept that apology. And the reason why I say I did is because I was reading a lot. I had friends of mine through high school that were really good to me, that took care of me. I mean, what I mean by take care of is they had me at their house. I would spend the night at their house. I would go and do the movies and things like that. But when my dad apologized to me, it was because he went through anger management. And I think he really kind of learned what caused. He was also abused, by the way. I don't know if I shared that with you as a child. So as he went through his life, he just continued that pattern. And for me, once he had to go to mandatory counseling, he pulled me aside and he said, "I want to apologize for everything I have done to you." And he was crying at that time. And I have so much compassion for people anyway, and it's an empathy. And I am a very empathetic person. I can feel, if you're talking to me about whatever story you're talking to me about, I feel your actual pain and I take it on. At that moment, he apologized to me. I felt his pain. I knew he was sincere, and I accepted his apology. And honestly, that was the best thing I could have ever done for me moving forward.
Forgiveness is super powerful. I mean, it takes literally the power back from feeling powerless. And I'm just curious, obviously, your dad was your first sexual experiences growing up, but how did you learn to develop relationships with other men? Because I would imagine that was the only way you knew to show men affection.
Nancy, another great question.
2 for 2.
2 for 2. Honestly, I went, this sounds horrible to say, but I think I'm saying it because I was very promiscuous in high school, and I think the reason for that was because of my dad thinking that, well, this is how you show love. This is what men want. This is how you show love. And so I kind of went through them, for lack of a better term, which is horrible to say. And it's not obviously the way I'd recommend for anybody to go through it, but I was searching. I was searching constantly for love, for love, for love. And then, I found it. And, I got married, and, I was married for 20 years to a man I know that he truly, truly loved me, and took care and really took care of me. And there was a lot of other issues in there that I won't go into, but I want to say he made me feel in the beginning that I was just super safe with him. And so, and that's what I needed, at that time. And it was what I ran to.
I love that you did have that successful relationship, because I think a lot of times people wonder, what if? Will it ever happen? Will I ever break this cycle? Will I continue the cycle? And you didn't. Now, I am curious, though, if we were to just quickly glimpse down memory lane, right? We have your abuse from 5 to 15. You started drinking at 12, promiscuous in high school, kind of being labeled that in high school. But how do you square the circle? Because I know you are a woman of faith. Like, how do you explain why this happened to you?
I just honestly, I feel like there's, I just feel like everybody's given, and I learned this from a mentor, a friend of mine, Rhonda, and she told me a couple things. One, if God brings you to it, He's going to bring you through it. She taught me to mind the lessons, and she also taught me that everybody has an assignment, and I believe I have an assignment. And I think, when you go through things, you're going through something to learn from something. And I also feel that I can share that experience so I can help others, because this isn't going away. This doesn't go away. I mean, it's 1 in 4 girls that this happens to. And I believe the statistic, if I'm not incorrect, is 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 boys that this happens to. It's just not little girls. It happens to all children. And so I want to just say that I feel like I want to just help people. And I think that that's why I really kind of feel like that's why it happened to me, honestly, so that I could go out and help other people, or at least that's my take on it. And that's what I choose to believe. And I just feel that God has helped me through everything in my life and saved me on more than one occasion from my own self-destruction.
For somebody, and we don't have much time, but briefly, because this is really important, for somebody in our audience today who is being abused, who maybe cannot put a ponytail on their forehead, what last words of advice do you have for them to get them through it?
I just want them to search within themselves in whatever situation they're in and find their little wins. Whatever that little win is, take a positive from it, and that's where you're going to find your strength to move forward.
I love that. And today, girl, you are living full out, and what impresses me too is we have a lot of people on the show who make a career out of overcoming what they overcame. You're out there selling real estate. You got a life separate from this. So know, everybody, that she's coming on the show to share these intimate details, really to educate, really to just bring awareness. It's not a career for you. And I really appreciate that. And so thank you very much for being a guest on our show today.
Thank you, Nancy, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll be wishing you all the best. Thanks, Diana.
Thank you.
For everybody listening today, it is about creating those wins, but you have to create them. And so when life gives you the short stick, when it gives you that curveball, when it feels like you're hopeless, you have to dig within yourself, and you have to find that light, that spirit, that passion, and turn it up. Don't let anybody ever take that from you. You're born with it. You can have a disability. Obviously, I'm legally blind, right? But I don't let that define me. I don't walk out in the world like I'm a blind person. It just happens to be that I have this white cane in my hand. Oh, I guess I'm blind, right? The thing is you have to defuse the power that negative situations have over you in your life. And Diana was a great example of that today, right? The obstacle course that she came up when she was 5, creative, right? The way that she kind of switched her mindset, saying, you know what, I was abused from 5 to 15, but there's purpose in that. My purpose is to help other people. So everybody has their purpose. It's just about finding it. And that is what this show is dedicated to doing. So if you have been through something in your life that you feel our community could benefit from hearing about, perhaps we can have you on the show as a guest. Feel free to go to connect@livingfullout.com and share with us your story. Give us your contact information. We'd love to potentially have you on the show and be able to inspire us and teach us those survival skills of how you got through it. Now, when we come back, we're going to be taking more of your calls. Again, that's 800-333-0001. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and today it's about creating wins in life. Let's do that together. We'll be right back after this break.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. So many comments on my comment. Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Mom, what? Huh? Pew, pew. What'd you say?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. It's against my religion. I'm giving my dog a bath. You can have pictures of that. Pressure gives me hives. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. Hold on, let me ask my mom. Sorry, my webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. Unfortunately, I just had my clothes surgically attached to my body. If they got out, I might never be president. I'm already naked, under my clothes. Not even if you were all 3 Jonas Brothers. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. The more you ask, the less I want to. You're not the boss of me. Nudity makes me vomit. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm place on a cold
I want to
day.
be a football
I want to be a
stadium.
bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
What? What about our plan to win the lottery and start living? You know, travel the world on matching yachts, wear enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacation in the French Riviera, and then buy it.
You know we're never going to win the lottery, right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When creating wins in life, you want to think about celebrating the obvious ones, the times that you accomplish a goal that you've been striving for, but also the very subtle ones. You want to look inside yourself and say, you know what, I am proud of who I've become. I'm really proud of what I've overcome. And the thing is that's what it means to live full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we've been talking about creating wins in life. And I really love this topic today because in every situation, even times of conflict or hardship, there are wins in there. The win is getting that lesson, right? And being able to take that and do better, be better. And that's kind of the goal of what we try to achieve. You know, we get this chance in life where we get this breath of life and we're born into the world. Doesn't mean that you have to go off and be a celebrity or a superstar, but it just means that every day you want to strive to wake up happy and you want to go to bed feeling satisfied and proud. And in the middle of waking up and going to bed, there's all this stuff that happens. But if you let the stuff get to you, well, then you're going to get gobbled up. Then you're not going to be able to sleep. Then you're not going to wake up happy, right? You're not going to go to bed feeling proud. So what I'm trying to tell you today is it's in that stuff, almost like a present. I want you to open it up. And just like how if you open up a bag, you're right, you might like discard the tissue, discard the bow. That's kind of the junky stuff, right? But inside that is going to be a present of learning moments and supporters in your life and wins. But you have to look inside and open that present and take away the junky stuff to see what is real, what is good. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line, and we're going to go over to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, thank you for calling in. Oh, looks like we don't quite have that caller. My producer will let us know when we have him back. So, going back to these wins, I want you to think about in this moment, what is one win that you're super proud of? Something that you just did in the last couple of days. And it could be small. It might just be that you got to the gym 3 days in a row. Or it might be big. It might be, yeah, I did do something pretty large, pretty big. I had a great presentation or I, stood up for myself. But I want you to think about that. And when that win happened, did you just let the win roll by? Or did you do a little hip shake, little twirl, a little happy dance? Did you treat yourself to a snack or dinner? Did you celebrate it? So the reason why I bring that up is so oftentimes we're there for other people. Good job, way to go, right? But we don't always give ourselves those pat on the backs, right? We don't say to ourselves, good job. I'm actually going to put something out there to all of you. I want you to consider the next time you go in the restroom today, take a few extra minutes, look in the mirror. And I want you to tell yourself one thing that you're proud of that you've done in the last couple of days. Again, I just don't think we give each other enough acknowledgement, but most of all, we forget ourselves. We've got to put ourselves in there. We have to give ourselves that pride. Now, let's see if our caller is back here. Hello, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Good afternoon. This is Anupam here.
Hi, thank you for calling in. How can I help you?
Well, my question is, so I am reaching almost I'm in the late 20s. So I'm pretty much in the middle of my career and I'm about to start my life, my family life actually. So I'm trying to understand, how to balance my career, my family life and end of the day, how to be happy.
You know, I love that you're asking this question, and I invite you and everybody listening to go to livingfullout.com, because on our website we have what's called 80 tips to bring balance into your life, and it's free. The reason why I want you to go get that document is because there's items on there that bring balance into your career life, that bring balance into your family life. And lastly, I want you to think of your life as a pie, right? You've had a pie before, right? And when you cut it up and you're about to serve it, right, there's slices to the pie. So one slice is your career. One slice is maybe your relationship with your partner. One slice might be family, like kids or relatives. One slice is your personal goals. And you want to look at the 24 hours in a day, the 7 days in a week, the days in the month, and you want to divide up your time as equally as you can amongst those slices of the pie. And if one week you're going to have a bigger piece of a pie than another, then on another week you go big on the slimmer slices. Does that make sense? That's how you find balance. It is a negotiation, but I promise you, go grab that 80 tips to bring balance into your life by go to livingfullout.com. That will definitely help you. But thank you so much for calling in.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. And for everybody listening today, it's about creating those wins. Like I said, go look at yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself one thing that you are proud of that you've done in the last couple of days. The entire Living Full Out family thanks you for listening. We have Rich and Gio and Ariel and Nick and so many people that just want to make sure that you are out there living full out, living big, right? Creating those memories and also celebrating those wins. Make sure to listen to this show again, going to our 24-hour radio station. Just go to livingfullout.com. See you next week. I believe in you. Here's to you living your life full out.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.